Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.
From these contributing sponsors and viewers like you, thank you.
This time on Broad and High, we learn about a poster show that pairs two things Columbus makes well: art and beer. A multi-talented, award-winning performer talks about a moment for him that stands out above the rest. And we listen to one of the latest releases from We Amplify Voices. This and more right now on Broad and High. Welcome to Broad and High. I'm your host, Kate Quickle. When Jess Hinshaw moved to Columbus and opened up his print shop, Upright Press, he was looking for a way to get more connected with artists and businesses in town. His idea? Prints and Pints. Now in its 5th year, this screen-printed poster show pairs graphic artists and designers with local breweries to create one-of-a-kind works of art. We went behind the scenes of this popular community event to see how some of this year's beer posters were made.
We're here at Upright Press, independent screen printing shop in Columbus on the south side, preparing for our 5th year of Prints and Pints.
Prints and Pints is a screen print poster fest. It's a collaboration between the Daily Growler and Upright Press, and then we bring in 12 breweries and 12 local artists to create unique posters.
So the artists treat this project kind of like a gig poster where they have an idea for a beer that the brewery makes, and they work with the brewery on what that imagery will turn into. And I think it's worked out really well that the breweries have given a lot of artistic license to the artists, and that's why these posters have been so amazing. The posters are limited edition. There's only 30, and they're numbered by the artist, 1 of 30, 2 of 30, so on and so forth, and that's it. So I think that's contributed a lot to the excitement about the event.
Which is just a one-day event every year, so only available in person, no like online sales, and it's just a really special event for us and for the community and the artists and the breweries.
Once they had agreed to it, then I let the artists choose which brewery they wanted to work with.
My name is Dustin Brinkman, and I'm working with Seventh Son Brewery, for Prints and Pints. I have a really kind of soft spot in my heart for Seventh Son because when I first moved here, I didn't know where anything was, and I just kind of a bit overwhelmed by like one-way streets coming from a really small town. So I lived down the street from Seventh Son but had no idea it was there, and I stumbled upon it, and I would just go there every night after that. Loved their atmosphere that they kind of cultivate there, and the drinks and cocktails are always absolutely amazing. But yeah, I think I just really wanted to kind of, in some ways, like give back to them. Like by working with them, I wanted to kind of participate in that way because I had such a warm experience there from the get-go. Talking with the brewery, it's not just Seventh Son, they have the 2 other breweries, the Getaway, and then they have Antiques on High. And so I try to take little components from each sort of location, taking the airplane from the Getaway because it has this sort of like plane and travel theme to it, taking the Seventh Son Cat, which is Horatio, also known as the assistant manager, the Antiques on High van, and all those sort of different things. Really wanted to try and culminate all those different things into one poster that still centers around like that specific brewery, which is Seventh Son. Yeah, my process, it feels like there is like a lot of steps in it, and it takes quite a bit of time. So normally I start off with like a very, very generalized sort of like gesture sketch. The digital collage comes from either photographs I'll personally take or things I'll find on the internet. And then from there, I print it off at scale, like the exact scale I want to print and carve that at. Transfer that onto the linoleum block that's cut down to that exact scale as well, so that is fully at like the 18 by 24, like what our poster is going to be. And then from there, it's just the sitting and the kind of process of carving, which usually takes quite some time. And then I come in here and I use the presses that are just behind me, and then I'll pull that first relief proof. Once that's dry, I'll scan that in and then do a sort of photo merge in Photoshop, transfer that into Illustrator for a live trace, and then come back to Photoshop and do all my like brush working tools and do all like the color layering and stuff like that. I think what I'm gonna do for the poster, like when we go layer-wise, is like start off with this like super intense, very bright yellow that'll get like dulled down a little bit in the shadow areas and stuff. Like this layer is just meant to only purposefully be like for shadows to give stuff some depth. Then red will go next with this sort of background sort of tone that like makes it not as just flat in there. And then the last color will be that blue that kind of transforms like all that yellow into a green. I think by the end of this week I'll be done, and I can send the images to Jess to get them ready for printing.
I'm Natasha Wheeler, and I'm working with the Yellow Springs Brewery. I wanted to work with the Yellow Springs Brewery because I grew up in a neighboring city, so I was really familiar with the Yellow Springs area. And it was just a place we'd visit, you know, with my family. As I got older, it was just like the place we'd drive to, you know, hang out for an afternoon at the shops and things like that. Lots of natural trails and hiking, and it's just one of the more unique spots in Ohio. When I was paired with Yellow Springs Brewery, they already knew they wanted to have a poster for a beer. And the beer is Creative Space, one of their, I think, NEIPAs. Kind of had a few ideas about how we might represent Yellow Springs. My process for creating the print, I usually like to start with just a messy, sketchy thumbnail to try and get out the idea and how I kind of want the eye to move throughout the piece. And then once I kind of establish that flow, I like to bring the sketch to the iPad. I wanted kind of a loose freehand approach to it. So with the iPad, I could really get in there and just touch up all those details. And then once I kind of have that really nice refined sketch, I'll bring it to the computer and I'll use a program like Adobe Illustrator to actually separate out the colors into layers and really refine anything that didn't translate well. One of the ideas was representing this idea of a free spirit. So I wanted to use kind of like flowing lines, because you think beer, it flows, ideas flow, creativity flows, to then help tie all these different scenes together. A lot of outdoor elements because the brewery itself is kind of a hub for outdoor enthusiasts. Hiking obviously is a big one. Cycling, the brewery itself is positioned right on a bike path. I've got some rappelling hidden in there. There's skateboarding, kayaking, there's a river, got somebody bird watching, butterflies, flowers, just more natural elements that you might see there. I'd kind of say Jess is like a master printer. I'm always really pleased and surprised when I see like the actual print. It's really cool. There's just something about that ink on paper and like the matte quality to it all when you've been looking at it through like an illuminated computer screen. It's just so cool to see those colors and it come together.
What I see from people who come to the event and buy the posters is kind of just general excitement. I think it speaks to people's relationship with the breweries themselves and the scene.
This is a big beer city, you know, there's over 60 breweries in this city, so it's an important thing to people.
People love beer and people love art, and so it's nice when they come together like that.
I think it makes artwork kind of approachable, you know, it's very affordable.
To be able to put a poster from a local business by a local artist on your wall is something that's pretty unique.
A lot of the artists that have done this have gone on to be kind of mainstays at that brewery, designing cans, t-shirts.
Being able to participate in Prints and Pints has like really opened up my like sort of circle of artists and designers and things to work with. And then I think being able to bring in those different types of artists within that community and see how everyone's kind of taking on these designs a little differently also broadens that horizon to like what poster printing is, or what sort of graphic work and imagery kind of really can be through different sort of lenses.
If you're into the local craft beer scene in Columbus, I definitely think it's an event worth checking out.
Again, just like uniquely positive and good vibes abound.
It's the most relaxed sort of event art exhibition I've like been to in quite some time.
I'm looking for 5 more years.
For more information about future editions of Prints and Pints, and to see more screen printing done by Jess and his team, visit uprightpress.com. Artist Leslie Odom Jr. is a force to be reckoned with a career that speaks for itself. In our next story, he talks about his life and work. He performs on stage, records albums, and in 2018 added the title of author to his resume.
Leslie Odom Jr. is an award-winning stage and screen actor with a voice meant for the Broadway stage.
Broadway music covers so many different styles. You know, I made my Broadway debut in a show called Rent, which in a lot of ways, you know, reminds me of the Hamilton phenomenon in that it was kind of, you know, pop and rock music being made to work in this new form, you know, in this Broadway storytelling form. It sounded like music off of the radio put on stage, and Hamilton, of course, does that with hip hop and R&B. I was very nervous the first, you know, those first few months of Hamilton, because I cared about it so much. I cared about the piece so much. I tried to introduce the show in the way that I wanted you to receive it, you know? I thought that the material was just so fresh and exciting and vital and funny and entertaining, you know, all that stuff. And so I just wanted Hamilton to have its best foot forward as we put it in front of you. So, you know, Hamilton is, for me, you know, an example. I had been preparing for a moment like that for my whole life. I didn't know if it would ever come. I didn't know if I would ever get the chance to show what I could do on the big stage, but it came. The most surprising thing for me, I remember after my first couple performances, I was like, oh wow, nothing's different. What I mean is, you know, you think when you get a Broadway show, you can think, I thought, that, I don't know, like pixie dust is sprinkled on you or something at the stage door on your way in, and you suddenly become a different performer than you ever were, but you're not. You know, the same integrity, the same fearless heart and, you know, courage that you develop in your hometown, and the same big Watt smile that you have in Wisconsin, or you bring that with you to the Broadway stage, and that's what we see. So it was just this wonderful realization of, it doesn't matter the stage. The stage is a great honor. The stages that I get to perform on are a great honor to me, but I would be performing in the same exact way, whether it's at the White House or your mom's house.
Even with the incredible success of Hamilton and winning the Tony Award, there is one moment for Leslie Odom Jr. that stands out above all the rest.
the White House, get a private audience with Barack Obama and Michelle Obama, to be invited. I mean, what does it mean to get 40 minutes of this person's attention? 40 minutes of his undivided, and her undivided attention. You know, the fact that you maybe can leave an impression that, you know, makes a difference. You know, I mean, that's how you can affect change, you know, in small ways. It was, and I'll say, you know, we, as a company, we really did bring the same integrity anywhere we went. I mean this in that, you know, we performed like we were at the White House every single day on Broadway. You know, the only thing that made it different was like, you know, we're at the White House, and so those nerves, you have to get those nerves and stuff out of the way so that you can do your job the way you always do it. Does that make sense? But yeah, you know, that we can say something this afternoon that lodges somewhere in his heart, in his spirit, that changes a conversation that he has, that he remembers, you know, 2 weeks from now. That, you know, that was an awesome moment. The best, the height of the whole thing, the best.
Since leaving Hamilton, Leslie Odom Jr. has recorded 2 albums, and some fans may be surprised at his personal musical style.
Part of my training as a singer and an actor was to be able to credibly get over, you know, to get different types of music over the footlights. Sometimes when people find out that I recorded jazz albums, they're like, oh, not hip hop albums? Because they know me from Hamilton. And in choosing the type of music I wanted to record, we explored a lot of the different types of music that I grew up singing. We explored R&B, we explored pop, and we explored jazz. Broadway's always a nice fit for jazz. You know, a lot of the jazz standards came from Broadway shows and Broadway composers, Hello Dolly, and you know, the rest. So it's a good fit. We said we wanted to make the kind of music that Nat King Cole might make today. In the show, in my live show, sometimes I say, you know, we didn't really know what that meant, but it got us the money. What I mean is, you know, we didn't know what that meant, but that was the bar. I was probably 12, 13 when I really heard that voice. You know, it's a ubiquitous voice, and so I'd heard it my whole life, but when I really heard what he was doing and saw what he looked like, and again, it just left such an impression of grace and class. My bar became, you know, I really was thinking about those performances that have stood the test of time, you know, those performances that have stayed with me for 20 plus years. And so I wanted to, that was my bar. Whether I hit it or not, I didn't know, but that's what I was trying to do, trying to make a performance that would sear into people's brains like that. So we wanted to make music that was as, you know, that had the integrity and the grace and the style that Nat might make today. We didn't want to be throwback so much. We wanted to do it for today.
Leslie Odom Jr. has also written his first book, titled Failing Up: How to Take Risks, Aim Higher, and Never Stop Learning. He hopes to inspire readers of all ages with lessons from his experiences so far.
I think intention takes you a long way. What kept me going was the fact that I believed that art could be a powerful force for change. If you are pursuing something with your whole heart, if you are going after a dream and it's tripping you up, and there are times when you are falling on your face, that you should keep going. And really, the major growth in my life, in my creative life, in my professional life, that did not start until I gave myself the permission to fail. I gave myself the permission not to get it exactly right, And if I was trying my very best, even if I failed, it was all right, you know? All the good stuff in my life happened when I gave myself the permission to fail, the best stuff.
To find out more about this amazing artist, check out leslieodomjr.com. Next, we have one of the latest releases from We Amplify Voices called Lost Souls of Tomorrow. This song was written by a group of students who participated in We the Change program at Westmore Middle School. It's an anthem for getting our world back on track. Let's take a listen.
Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track. Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track.
See, I'm creating on this track, ain't putting out nothing if it's whack. They shooting all around us just because of where we at. This food, music, politics, and problems with these hollow tips. Food, music, politics, and problems with these hollow tips. My creativity is like a spark of light. Them temptations coming out, gotta take the fight. You hear it in the music, got the brain and I'ma use it. Staying smart and never stupid, not the loser, don't confuse it with. Yeah, these bars is fire, call me sire. Yeah, it's too lit. This generation's lost and they minds is kinda lucid. World is kinda dying, but we trying, we can't lose it. We lost a lot of love just because where it's keeping.
Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track. Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track.
Gotta face the fact, can't lie, this world is really cap. Your own friends that stab you in the back. I gotta stay wise, I can't lack. My bars are sentimental, I don't deal with the fakes, they detrimental. Spitting go like he might as I'm elemental. Spitting bars when I hop on this instrumental. Get the world back and that's fundamental. Making this magic right from the dental. If you mess with my family, I mean I'm dental. And you know I'm like Malcolm, I'm in the middle. Facing these facts and we gotta fit them. In conversations we gotta get them. When they send in the message we gotta send them. Cause we living and we gotta live it. Is there love in your eyes or is there love in the air? Sometimes it makes me nauseous when there's so much despair. Yeah, we the lost souls of tomorrow, that's that. This road is fading fast, gotta get it back on track. And
Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track. Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track. Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track. Gotta face the facts, no more going back. The world has lost its path, gotta get it back on track.
To learn more about this program, check out weamplifyvoices.org. Well, that's our show. Remember, you can find all of our stories online at wosu.org as well as on our YouTube channel. For all of us here at WOSU, I'm Kate Quickle. Thanks for watching.
time is done. Moving on for everyone. Demise, my majesty waits. Demise is the only way now. Move along, move along, move along, move along, move I've been told don't race against the tide. Maybe I could try to get the waters just in time.
Production of Broad and High is funded in part by the Greater Columbus Arts Council, supporting arts, advancing culture, and connecting the community to artists, events, and classes at columbusmakesart.com.